Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Carly and it's nice to have you. So this is part one of a series of videos that I'm going to do that is really personal to me. But I feel that given this platform, I want to share not only the beauty stuff and the life hacks and the family stuff, but I really from the start of my channel want to share how awesome God is and certain things that He's done in my life. So this series is gonna be Can You Blank? This one is going to be called Can You See? And it's gonna be probably my favorite one because these are photos that each have a story, and I'm gonna try not to cry this whole video. I'm already like getting emotional about it. I want to use this platform to be able to share them with you guys so that it can help encourage you and inspire you and strengthen your faith and your hope. So these are going to be photos that God has spoken to me through that are very special to my heart. And I hope that by telling you the stories behind them, that they will help you to see and that they will help you to have vision and be able to see past circumstances and be able to see God and see heaven. And I just want you guys to know, I believe that God is all around us, and if we just have eyes to see, we'll be able to see Him in everything. So these are photos that mean a lot to me, and they're all from times where I couldn't see God. I questioned my faith and I questioned God, and I was either going through a trial or just going through a tough time, and God was so gracious to humble down to my little level and show me something through a picture. So my goal for this video is to inspire you and to just let you know that God is all around us. We just have to have eyes to see. Okay, so first picture. This is going to be probably the most powerful one and the most personal one to me, but I wanted to start with that so that it kind of sets the tone for the rest of them. So going back probably about 11 years ago is when I got saved. When I got saved, my whole entire life was flipped upside down, but in a good way. So it was in the summer, and whenever New Year's came around, I wanted to make this really awesome New Year's resolution that I said aloud in the church. So this was New Year's Eve, and I told God that I just wanted Him to use me for that year and use me for His glory, and just to have me be whatever He needs me to be on this earth. So that was my New Year's resolution. I wake up the next day on New Year's Day, and I stood up out of bed, and my whole spine, I just like heard a crack, and I felt so much pain radiating throughout my entire body. I couldn't lift my arms, I couldn't move my neck. I was basically paralyzed from here to here. I could hardly breathe, and I remember just, thank God I was home this weekend with my mom, and I remember just telling her, please get me to a doctor. I can't breathe, I can't, it was horrible. Let's fast forward a year, which I'm gonna skip a lot of parts, but fast forward a year, they couldn't find anything wrong with me. So that's basically what happened. So orthopedic surgeons, I had x-rays, I had tests done, I had everything under the sun. I went to the chiropractor. I did everything that I knew to do to find out what this was. And after a year of not being able to take a deep breath or move my arms or move my neck, I was really losing hope. And again, this was right after I became a Christian. So right after I gave my life to Jesus, and I got very discouraged. I honestly at one point thought that this was the end. And it sounds silly now because it was 10 years ago, but I really did. It was that much pain. And so I remember going for one more test. I was going to be sent for an MRI, and I sat in the MRI machine, and this is when I just talked to God. And if you've ever had an MRI, you're in a very, or if you've never had an MRI, you're in a very tight machine, and you're like this. You can't move a muscle. And I just remember tears were just like trickling down. And I remember asking God, are you there? Is is this what it is to be a Christian? Because if it is, I don't want to be it anymore. And I remember saying that, and I remember asking him, if you will, can you please show me that you're in me? Because I don't feel you. I don't see you. I don't see you anymore. I saw him. I remember, when I say I saw him, I remember feeling the presence of God so strong when I got saved. And with me focusing on this pain and this trial for so long, I remember saying in the MRI, I don't see you anymore, and I don't know what to do. And if you don't show me you're in me, I give up. And I was lacking in faith for sure. But I remember saying to God, I don't want to do this anymore. Anyway, so my mom and I left that doctor, and I remember this like it was yesterday, and I'm sure she will too. We had the MRI sheets, which were like these huge sheets and of x-rays. We were supposed to transport them from that doctor to the hospital or to whoever it was who was going to read them and give us the report. And we are probably the most nosiest people in the world, so we took them out in the car like we were going to be able to understand them. I mean, I don't know what we were even looking for, but we looked in the light, and this is what we saw. Is that not amazing? I don't know if you guys see it or if you don't. Some people see it, some people don't, and it's totally okay either way. But for me, when I look at this picture, I see Jesus, and I see a crown, and I almost see like he's like this, like he's praying, and the part that he's looking at, that's the part that we ended up finding I have a lot of chronic issues with. But it looks like he's wearing a robe. He looks like he has a beard. So it was chilling, but it was amazing. I have this picture everywhere. I have this picture everywhere I look is this picture, because this picture brings me back to reality in a heartbeat. Because there's a lot of times I still struggle with the pain. I'm still in therapy. I'm still really trying to get on top of whatever happened to my body, and this picture helps me to remember, no, God is in me. I asked him to use me, and I can't tell you how many times, how many doctors, how many chiropractors or surgeons or whoever I've shared this picture with, and it has witness to them. And so God is using me, and I am in pain, but it's okay. Because I look at this picture and I'm just so blessed by it. So this is my first picture of Can You See? Because if you can see this, then I believe that you can see Jesus. Because this to me is Jesus. And some people can't see it, and that's okay. I feel like most people see it. Okay, so my number 2 picture is when I was, I'm not going to tell the whole story because of, just for the privacy of others, but I had a pretty traumatic experience where I had to do a drive, an emergency drive from where I lived to New York, and it took me almost 24 hours of driving. And this was smack in the middle of me studying for my master's finals. And the next day, I had the biggest presentation of my whole entire, it was my thesis presentation. And so I felt so broken after this drive, after this experience. And I remember putting on a song. I was just talking to God, and I was like, God, where are you? I can't see you. Oh my gosh. And I wasn't like happy like this. I was crying and saying, God, I don't see you. I was struggling so hardcore. And I put on a song called Love, and I remember looking to the sky, and I kid you not, this picture right here just happened right before my eyes, and a heart totally just formed in the sky in the shape of a cloud, in the shape of a heart, and it formed before my eyes, and I was covered. I was overcome with peace in that moment. I was just like, wow, God, you are so cool. You can do the most amazing things in the whole entire world. So that little thing, I know it might be small to some of you, but that moment where God shaped the cloud into a heart just for me. That was like amazing. And so I see a lot of stuff in the clouds, which probably sounds weird, but I promise, like, God is so good to mess around with his creation just to show you how much he loves you. Like, it blows my mind. But anyway, that's like another picture that really blesses my soul. Okay, so number 3 is, oh my gosh, this one. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this picture, I don't even know how I'm gonna get it. This was crazy, you guys. This was so crazy. Okay, so this is gonna be this is gonna be a picture of a picture of a picture on a phone. So I'll show it to you on here, but I'm gonna try to put it in the, just so you see, like I took it on my phone. I don't know if you can even see this, can you? What if I do this? Oh, yeah, you can see it. Okay, so do you see the hand right here? This is the sky. Do you see that right there? This is my old Sprint phone that was a flip screen. You can't do any editing on this phone, so no, I didn't edit this. But okay, so this picture, this was right when I got saved. So this was probably, is there a date on this? No, but this was probably July of 2006. I'm gonna guess that's when it was. Okay, so this picture was so crazy. So it's the first time that God has used photography or video or whatever, just my eyes to see. And I love this picture so much. I forgot I even had it. So long story short, I was driving to church and I was supposed to sing. So it was the first time I was going to sing in front of the church, and I was so nervous, you guys. I had like butterflies in my stomach, and I got like sick right before I left, and so it was so late. I was just so nervous, and I don't even know why. It was just a new thing. And so as I was going, this storm, like I've never seen a storm come at me so hard. Don't know if there was a tornado or what, but it looked like there was a tornado. It was just black coming at me in the car. And I was like, wait, I have access to prayer now, because that's the first thing I learned how to do when I became a Christian. Was I learned that we can pray to God, and we can ask him whatever we want to ask him. He doesn't always say yes, but we can talk to him like he is our friend. And I remember that's the first thing I thought about, and I didn't even doubt it. It was so cool, the faith that God blessed me with when I first became a Christian, because I remember thinking to myself, is this weird that I'm not even doubting this? I asked God, I was like, God, I'm so late. Can you please hold back the storm? And I said it out loud. I was in the car driving, and I didn't see the hand. I didn't see, like, it didn't look like an actual hand, but I saw some type of movement. I swear, the storm just went away. It was the weirdest thing. This was a flip phone, so it didn't do any type of recording, and it couldn't record it. But I was like, oh my gosh, what if I take a bunch of pictures? It's gonna show it. And this is the best I got. But you guys, do you see the hand at the bottom? Let me see. Oh my gosh, do you see that? God, oh my gosh, he took it and he put it away. Some people might look at this and say, that's totally crazy, and that's okay. These are just pictures that speak to me, and if they speak to you, it's awesome. And if they don't, that's awesome too. It's okay. I just want to share them because obviously it like makes me so happy. Okay, so here's a fourth one. This is the weirdest thing. So this was a night that, and I texted this to my husband, but he wasn't my husband. We were just dating back then. So this was 2010, and another one of those times when it was just like the worst day ever, and everything was going wrong. I had just learned that they terminated my program in school, which was my master's program that I just started, and then all these other like weird things were happening, and it was just, I felt so broken. And I remember I just left Jared, and he lived only a block away, which was really fun. But I remember I was crying, and I was just like, I just gotta go home and just go to sleep and just forget about this whole day, which that doesn't help at all. But I got out of the car, he dropped me off home. As we were pulling into my driveway, it started torrential pouring rain, like so hard pouring rain, and I was soaking wet. I was running to the stairs, and I remember saying to God, this is like the worst storm ever, and I don't see you. And I don't know why I always say that. I don't struggle with that as much now. After, these are pictures that have been taken over the past 11 years, so I don't say that all the time, but for the series, I just want to share that. These are all the times I did say it. So, oh my gosh. So, okay. I remember saying, this is the worst storm ever. And I wasn't just talking about the storm. I was talking about the day and the storm I was going through. And I don't see you. And where are you? And I looked down. I went like this because it was raining so hard that I couldn't even see my stairs, like where the stairs were. And I looked down and I saw this. This is what I saw, okay? And I had to take a picture of it. So I saw this dry spot in the midst of rivers of rain. I mean, the rain was pouring. I was drenched. And it was just this one little dry spot. And it looks exactly like Jesus, because in that moment, I saw it, and in a split second, I felt in my heart that God was saying, I will always keep you dry during a storm, and I will always cover you during a storm. And that's what I felt in my heart. That was the kind of the word that came to me. But I remember feeling in that moment, I will always shelter you from the storm. I will always keep you dry. I will always cover you. I will always be here. And it was like, I'm trying not to cry. It was so awesome, because God has such a funny way of just kind of putting us in our place. He is so good at putting me in my place by doing the weirdest stuff. Like, I would have never thought to do that. And it just makes me laugh, because the way that God works with me, I feel like is just so unique and funny. And now I look back and laugh, because here I am, like, I don't see you, and here he is, like, putting a dry spot on my cement. Like, it's just so funny. But I remember the word that I felt, and to this day I still hold on to that and still remember that. And even in times when my husband and I, when we feel like we don't see God, or we don't hear him or whatever, I always remember this picture. And I just remember, nope, God will always shelter us during the storm. So that was cool. Okay, so let's see if there's another one. I think I'll do one more. You guys, I've got so many of these. I feel like everyone has this gift. I don't feel like it's unique to me, and I don't know if it's even a gift. I think that if you will open your eyes, you can see. So, I don't know. Okay, let's see. I want to do one more if I can. Well, I can do this one. Okay, so this will be the last one. I've got a few more, but they're kind of like, they're not lighthearted at all. They're really kind of freaky, so I don't know. They're really kind of intense, and I don't want to freak anyone out. So, this one is a fun one. This one is just when I went on vacation, and I think they probably do this. I've seen one other person post this, but this was like last month. I saw somebody post this, and this was 11 years ago when I saw it. So I don't know if it's something they normally do. Regardless, it doesn't matter. I never saw it before in my life until it happened. And so it's just a time where I went outside and I was having a really difficult day, and I said to God, I said, can you, just another thing, can you show me if you're here? Because I'm so sad right now, and I'm struggling so bad, and my heart is just so sad. I just remember saying that, my heart is so sad. And you guys, you'll get to know that when I just the way that I talk to God. I talk to him like he's sitting right next to me, like he's my best friend, because he is. And so if that seems strange, I'm sorry if it seems strange, but that's just how I talk to God. So you should try it. It's fun. But I remember saying to God, my heart is so sad. And, you know, are you still here? Like, it's so pitiful. But I looked up at the sky because I was like, ooh, maybe I'll see a cloud like I normally do. And oh my gosh, he did the most amazing thing ever. And maybe this is just something they do all the time in Florida somewhere. But a plane stopped right above me. I shouldn't say stopped, but came right above me, flew right above me, and started writing in the sky. And the plane wrote, "You plus God equals a smiley face, equals happiness." And I just could not believe it. And I grabbed my phone. This is back in the day. Like, this was before super old flip phone. I had another flip phone that was like even worse. And I just like took a quick snapshot and I caught it. And I'm so happy because those are the pictures that I just hold on to forever. And they are just what I use to bring me back to reality. And this is gonna be like a little part right here where I want to just share a really cool analogy. I did a teaching one time where I shared a few of these pictures, and it reminded me of the movie Inception. So if any of you have seen this movie, basically Inception is a movie about dreams. If you've never seen it, this might not make sense to you, but in the movie, each person has a thing called a totem. And so the totem is something that only they're allowed to touch. No one else can touch it. Only they know the weight of it, the size of it, the feel of it. So for one guy, it was a little chess piece. For another guy, it was a top that like he spun around. And the totem was what they held when they went into like the dream world. And it's what snapped them back into reality, because sometimes in the dream world, they forgot if they were sleeping or if they were awake, because it looks real when you're in a dream. And so they would always turn to their totem, and it would, so like the top that spun, if he was in the dream world, it would always spin and it never stopped. And that's what let him know, okay, this isn't real, I'm in the dream world. Fast forward, so to me, that movie was awesome, because to me, these pictures are my totems. They're the things that remind me that this right here is not the real. This is the dream. This is the dream world. This is gonna pass away. Heaven is eternity. Heaven is real. That is where I'm going and where I'm gonna live forever. That's what I believe. So these pictures, they're very personal to me, and they're mine, and they are what God has used to speak to me. And when I look at them, they are the things that snap me back into reality. So like when I have a lot of pain in my back, which is often, I look at that MRI and I just snap right back into reality that the pain is temporary. God is in me, and that's all that matters. It snaps me right back into a heaven mentality. And when I, you know, get really sad, or I feel like this storm is too big and it's overcoming me and I don't see God and I feel totally unprotected, I remember the picture where it's a flood and here he is in a spot on the ground like telling me, I've done it on the cross, like I will always cover you. And so these pictures are my totems, and they're what snap me back into reality. And so my challenge to you guys is F2. The first one is, can you see? So my challenge would be for this week to see if you can see. And that basically just means to keep your eyes open, because I believe that God speaks through everything, through the sky, through whatever it is. I think that you can see God in everything. And so open your eyes to see, and to see God, and let him show you himself. because it's really cool. If you don't necessarily see anything, you can ask. And then my second challenge would be to figure out, what are your totems? So is there something in your life that you feel snaps you back into reality, that this earth is going to pass away and it's just not our home? And don't focus on all the bad things that are going on. Focus on heaven and stay focused on God. Do you have a thing like that? So for me, it's the pictures. Maybe for you, it's friends. Maybe it's experiences. Maybe it's an actual thing, like something that reminds you of, maybe it's the Bible, maybe it's scripture, maybe it's a poem, maybe it's a movie, maybe it's a song. What are your totems? So you guys, I hope you like this video. I hope that it blesses your soul and speaks to your heart and helps you to have eyes to see, because God is everywhere and He just wants to show you Himself. And if you will be willing to see Him, He will show you things that are amazing. If you like this video, please support my channel by subscribing, which is totally free. You can subscribe right below. And if you guys have any prayer requests, I'm going to put that at the end of all these faith series videos only. But you can email everlastinglife@gmail.com, and my husband and I both will look at every single request and pray over it. And we would love to lock arms with you and encourage you and pray for you and help you in any way that we can. So thank you guys so much for staying to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like this video. I'll be uploading more, and if you did like it, don't forget to hit the like button down below so that more people can see it and be blessed by it. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.